Good evening, everyone. Yeah, that's a sign to put the phones off. I will speak about a few different things. And if you have questions during the lecture, don't hesitate to ask me. Always better questions and answers. Mainly, I would like to speak about jealousy. One of the sins in the Torah that we don't get to pay attention too much. Jealousy. If we have to scan 13.2 million Jews that we have in the world today, that's all, 13.2 million, through a scanning machine, I don't know if we'll be able ever to invent such a machine, but it's a scanning machine that will check the heart of every Jew and see if it's clean from jealousy. I think they will return the machine back to the manufacturer thinking it's defected. Probably won't find even one person that doesn't have it. I know you're smiling, but that's reality. Now you may come and say, well, the ordinary people, they're jealous. But the rabbis, the important ones, you also want to scan them and you think the machine will find problems? The answer is yes. Yes. It's a hard mitzvah to keep. Let's start with that. It's a very hard mitzvah. There is one more mitzvah, it's called lo tachmod. That you want something that belongs to other to be yours and you're willing to even pay double price on it. You approach him, I like your tie. Where did you get it? That store. How much? 20 bucks. Can I buy it? No, they sold out. Here, I give you 30. Give it to me. Okay, take it. Give me 30. Goodbye. What's wrong? Sin from the Torah. Like lighting fire on Shabbat. Did you know that or no? Not stealing. Not talking now you came and you grab it from his bag or something. We're talking you actually approached him in a nice way. I really like it. What happens if he doesn't want to sell it to you? You grab it and throw the 30 bucks on the table. That's like what the mafia does. They don't give you full price. They give you 10% of what your property worth. But they give you something. They don't want to look like they stole your store. So if your business worth $200,000, they're offering you 20, 30. You have a week to get out of here. They could have done it without you paying, without paying you anything. But they want to say, we bought the business. That's called chomes, lo tachmos. That's where the name Hamas came from. They want to steal the Jewish land. They called themselves Hamas, but they didn't really know what it means. But in the Torah it means thieves, ganavim, stealing, but giving something. We leave you something. We'll leave you half of Tel Aviv, we'll leave you maybe a quarter of Haifa, that's it. The rest is all ours, besides all the Middle East. Why do I say it's a very hard mitzvah to keep? Because today we found a nice way for all this jealousy. We call it politics. We don't like politics. This one cannot speak here, these CDs cannot be put in this synagogue, it will offend the rabbi. I want to make you a lecture in the synagogue, but for some reason something is not happening. Someone is preventing it. All these things is called politics today, but it's really jealousy. Jealousy. Why? If everyone loves Hashem and everyone has a clean heart, every kosher speaker will have free access to speak in every synagogue and in every yeshiva in the world. I'm talking kosher speakers. There are speakers who are not koshers, like conservative Jews, Reform Jews. They are big criminals. They modify the Torah of Hashem. There's no permission to let them even enter to the synagogue. Not needed, nevertheless, to speak. Why? This is crooks. They took the Torah of Hashem and they want to marry men to men because they have strong desires. So now they modify the Torah to make it kosher. They want to drive on Shabbat to come to the synagogue. They don't want to sweat half an hour in a heat, in a humidity. So they say, well, in our generation it's kosher. in our generation, Hashem didn't care really that we come with a car. You know, that was in the old days. They come with all kinds of stupid excuses and they modify the Torah. And that's what happened. The reforms already completely goyim. They marry goyim, they live like goyim, they call themselves goyim name. There's no connection between them and Judaism, even by 1%. Conservatives still have some connection, some. One non-Jewish family sent me an email that they live in a place that there are no Jews, no Orthodox Jews. And they want to send their kids to the Hebrew school to make connections between the kids to Judaism, that eventually when they will move to a Jewish area, the kids will have a much easier time to get used to the Torah. But the only Hebrew school, it's in a conservative shul. Also, the conservative shul allow them to come and pray there like Jews, even though they are not Jews. They're righteous Gentiles, but they are not Jews. So they can be a part of the shul, no problem. The question is, they ask if it's permitted or not. Goyim. For Jews, you're not allowed to step there, even a minute. You should know that. If your friend gets married in a Reform synagogue, there's no permission to enter one step into the actual synagogue. If they have a wedding, a catering hall at the same building in a different section, that's a different story. It's a catering hall. But the place where the Sefer Torah is, and people recites the prayers right there, there's no permission to step one step inside, even to fix the light bulb as an electrician. No permission to step there. Why? Lot went to Sodom and Gomorrah, and you saw what happened in the end? From that moment, and the moment he arrived there, he's considered wicked. Up to there, he was okay. Torah didn't speak negatively about him. From the minute he arrived to Sodom, oh, you want to live in a village? You want to move to San Francisco? No problem. I take you from the righteous book and I move you to the different book. But why? I didn't make any sin yet. I'm still Shomer Shabbos. I'm still eating my kosher food. I'm still eating glad kosher. I import it from New York. I pay even double now. It's a bigger sacrifice for me. I live in a village and keep Shabbat. You know what it is for me? Seeing what's happening around me. There's no permission to move there. You move to a non-kosher area, just a matter of time until you and your children will be destroyed. Just a matter of time. Nobody ever moved to a non-kosher area and stayed the same righteous person. Never in history once. You will never be able to find one person who moved from a kosher neighborhood because of business reasons. I have to move to Vegas. That's my new company. This is a very big decision. You have to make a decision. What do you want? You want to make $100,000 a year and go express to hell with that? Or to be a little bit, you know, with a tight pocket, struggling, being a little bit late on a payment, having all kinds of aggravation, and go express to heaven. You have to make the choice. What do you want? You want money here for the next 30 years and have comfortable car and comfortable place and nice clothing and whatever you have, and then, God forbid, lose your eternity. Or you give up all this luxury, you give it up, and from the minute you give up this luxury, you have a much, much, much bigger chance to make it to life of eternity. Isn't it what we want, all of us? Everything. What's the whole religion is for? It's true that the religion helps a lot in this life. Big deal. 30, 40 years, it's like a blink of the eye. This life, it's a blink of the eye. Who doesn't remember that he was in diapers? I remember I was 3 years old. They put me to watch the woods for Lag BaOmer. We were collecting, making a pile. But, you know, there's a lot of piles in the neighborhood. So they take a little kid to sit there to tell them that's already belong to this gang. This belong. I remember they bought me 50 grams of seeds. In Israel, people like parrot seeds, you know, those black seeds. So they brought me 50 grams with half a lira. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was 3 years old. 3 years old. I remember. It was 40 years ago. And I still remember it. It's like a blink of the eye. Life went by before you realize it's over. So you really think that all the bothering of the acceptance of the Torah, all of this for this world? Do you really think that that's what it was for? So really, it doesn't matter how it's going to be here. It really doesn't matter. Nobody cares if when the eyes blinked once, if it hurt a little bit or not. It's over already. That's it. Up, finished. You care now? Let's make an investigation why when I blinked 2 minutes ago my eye hurt a little bit. But it's gone. That's it. No more. Who cares? It's over. Before you realize it's over. A person must be careful from luxury lifestyle. I'm sure you heard that before, right? The question is, I want to ask you a real fair question. Let's be honest. Who can raise his hand here and can tell me that he can write on a piece of paper what's considered in our generation luxury lifestyle? Why? Why am I asking this? I know families that their kids have, little kids, have hundreds of dollars in their pocket and they feel very poor. And yet I know families that the kids have $5 in their pocket and they're so lucky. They're very, wow, I'm such rich boy. I can buy 2 ice creams every day. Wow, how lucky I am that I can afford it. And other kids don't even have $5. But that kid has $300 in his pocket and is very aggravated. Why? In his neighborhood, kids walking with $2,000 in their pocket. So it's all in relation to who? Who are you comparing yourself to? So where is the red line? Can we draw a line and say up to here is no luxury? From here higher, luxury. Obviously, you know it's not true. One person, you ask him to live in a little apartment in Queens. He said, no, kill me, I'm not moving there. What do you mean? It's a 3-bedroom apartment. Kill me, my laundry room is bigger now. Kill me, I'm not moving. And some people, wow, can I move to Queens? Wow, you know where I lived until now? So it's depend on your lifestyle, where you grew up, what you got used to. So how can we call which life is luxury or not? The Torah say in general, stay away from luxury lifestyle. Now I want to read to you something. Do we determine that luxury lifestyle is based on the public? How did we determine it? Or like in the time of the Gemara. In the time of the Gemara described what's considered luxury. Did it stay the same or no? We are 2,000 years later. The world is completely different. We have to go by our standards. Our standards. For instance, a person loses his cell phone for 1 hour, he needs a mental institution already. Wow, where is my phone? I'm dying here. I cannot do anything. My business is shut off, my website, my technicians on the street, my wife, where is she? She's burning money on a credit card. I cannot even stop it. So without cell phone, this person 5 years ago didn't have cell phone. His life was perfectly fine. Take it away from him today, he's dead. So what's going on here? How do we know what's considered luxury? Believe me, I know kids, they drive a very fancy sport car and they feel very bad. They cannot afford to drive the car that their father drives. They feel very bad. This tiny car. My dream is this car. So where is it? Where does it end? Where? The answer is like this. Listen. The Chafetz Chaim, he lived there 80 years ago. Chafetz Chaim, he was a Kohen. Everyone say if the Chafetz Chaim lived in our time and we had the Mashiach come and Bet HaMikdash will be built, then what would happen? Chafetz Chaim will be the Kohen Gadol. Do you know any other Kohen in the last 100 years that deserves to be a Kohen Gadol besides him? It's a perfect human being. Clean mouth, clean eyes, clean ears, very humble. If you look at his house, there is one picture in the entire history from the Chafetz Chaim. Very interesting. There's one picture from the Ben Ish Chai. Ben Ish Chai was a very big Chacham in Baghdad 100 years ago. The chief rabbi of Iran and Iraq combined. And India also. This Rabbi Yosef Chaim, the Ben Ish Chai. He has a book. He has many books. One of them you have his picture on. Do you know how old was he in that picture with that beard? That's his only picture. This picture was taken out of a family picture. Him and all his brothers. Some of his brothers were very rich business people. They were smart, not like today. They were very smart. They saw that their young brother, since age 6, is already a genius in Torah. All he does is learning Torah. Going in the attic of the house, learning with his books non-stop. So they told him, don't worry. You don't have to worry about money. We'll pay for everything. You're going to sit and learn. So they paid, and he was learning. When he spoke on Shabbat, he spoke to 10,000 people in a big shul of Baghdad without a microphone. Today you speak to 100 people after an hour and a half. For 3 days you suffer. 10,000 people on Shabbat without a microphone. There was no microphone 100 years ago. The place was acoustic. I saw a picture of that synagogue, how it built, in black and white picture. The picture of that Ben Ish Chai, do you know how old was he in that picture? Huh?
26, 18.
In his 20s. Mamash like a kid. Looks very in his 20s. Chafetz Chaim. Chafetz Chaim live in a shed house. You know the sheds that we have in the backyard that we put the tools? There's one picture from the Chafetz Chaim that he sits with the Bukharian hat. You know, like I see that a lot of the Bukharian likes this hat when they pray. That's what the hat he had. And the Chafetz Chaim sit by his house. I promise you, if you go to buy this house today, it won't even cost you today $1,000. $1,000 in Radin. That's the value of his house today. It's like a bunch of pieces of wood and a crooked window. The Chafetz Chaim never agreed to walk into a fancy house in his whole life. He had a cousin that was inviting him to come. The cousin wanted to help the yeshiva. The Chafetz Chaim wrote to him, I cannot walk on pages of Gemara with my feet. The cousin asked him, what do you mean? He said, you have Persian rugs on your floor, I heard. Persian rugs on the floor means thousands of pages of Gemara. You can replace it to thousands of pages of learning Gemara if you take the money of this nonsense that you have on the floor. How can I walk on a Torah? This is the way he lived. But the synagogue, he made it very beautiful. That's the house of Hashem, it's not mine. There's no pride here. When it comes to Shamayim, no problem, it should be beautiful. Big, nice, comfortable, beautiful. Why? This is the center of our life, right here. So everybody said the Chafetz Chaim should have been the Kohen Gadol. There's only one thing that they don't know. The Chafetz Chaim was a lefty. A lefty cannot serve in Bet HaMikdash. Lefty, someone who writes with his left. How do you know who's lefty and righty? Sometimes you have people, they write with the left, but they do everything with the right. Or they write with the right, but they do everything with the left. Or they are lefty in the hand, but they're righty in the leg. When they play soccer or when they kick their wife, they kick it with the right hand, the right leg. So, no. Don't worry, relax. So, a lefty cannot serve in Bet HaMikdash. But the Chafetz Chaim said like this, listen good. A person has to get to a level that he has main thing in his life, primary and optional, which means this is my main thing and this is the secondary. It's not so important. What's considered the main thing in my life? My Torah learning. That's my main thing in life, which means if I have X amount of hours a day, most of it goes to learning. And with the leftover hours that I have, I go to make business. I go to work. Never a Jew is allowed to make his work his primary thing in his life, and then the learning is secondary. Just remember, in the time of the Rambam, a Jew that was selling vegetables in the street, selling watermelons, like this, was learning minimum 9 hours a day, like an average yeshiva guy today. That's only 850 years ago. The Rambam writes, Balabait. Balabait means an owner of a house. It's not a yeshiva learner. 9 hours a day. 9 hours a day. And this is in a generation that the memory of the people was at least 100 times better than today. Because the world was clean. The ladies used to get dressed. There was no television. There was no dirty streets. There was no rap music that contaminate the soul. There was no all kinds of luxurious things like today that destroyed our life. They didn't have it 850 years ago. And the people had no electric. There was no places to go make scenes after 6, 7 in the evening. There was only one thing in life to do, to learn. So the memory of the people was very clean, very pure. And they had to learn minimum 9 hours a day, which means we have to learn 900 hours a day to be in their level. And that wouldn't be even considered a yeshiva learner. You understand how far we are from the truth? Do you understand? I know it sounds very hard to ever even imagine that we can get to this level, but let's at least know where we're standing. If you know your value, there's a chance maybe you'll double your value. If you think you're very important. So, the Chafetz Chaim says, a person is allowed to get only what he must have to survive. Only what he must. Not the children always come, Abba, I need it. I say, no, you don't need it. You want it. No, I need it. You don't need it. You want it. You don't need ice cream. You want ice cream. You don't need a Game Boy. You want a Game Boy. You don't need this kind of shoes, $300. You want it. You don't need. You can buy from Walmart, $15. But the ego, wow, I'm going to go like this to school? It's all ego. Jealousy and ego. We'll get to it soon. So, כל הדרכים ההכרחיים לקיומו של האדם, all the necessary way to the existence of the person, and from now on, everything extra is luxury. It's a sin. Up to here, permission, permitted. From here on, it's all luxury. What does it mean, existence? $5 a day food, that's it. Doesn't need $30 breakfast, $200 lunch, and another $150 dinner. It doesn't need a $10,000 suit. One person came to me and say, I want to take you, I'm bringing you, let's make a project in a fancy place, a fancy city. That was a few years ago. But can I ask you something without you get offended? I want to get money from someone that I know. He's a very generous guy. And I want to take you to a place and buy you 5 nice suits, $2,000 each. I say to him, why? My suit is not good, $200 suit. He said, that's exactly the point. If you want these people to respect you, you have to wear suits, minimum $2,000 each, that is all made by designers. That's how they're going to treat you in a right way. If you're going to come dressed like this, ordinary clothes, or if they see what car you drive, they'll never respect you. You understand? And this is a place where some of these people call themselves religious. You say, well, he gave me a name of a rabbi. I was a witness. He went to buy his suit, $10,000 custom-made suit. I said, that's not a rabbi, that's a criminal. That's not a rabbi. You know how many children you can save from destruction with $10,000? Give me $10,000, I'll show you how many balei tshuva I made tomorrow morning with that. With the price of this lousy suit. Or the $50,000 summer vacation that you take every year. Let's see how many souls we can save with this money, and then you decide what's better, to sit by the lake or to save another 200 Jewish boys from destruction, spiritual destruction. You decide what's better. Maybe after you see the results of or what you do, you think again. No, so, from now on, the Chafetz Chaim says, Arei ze motarot, it's luxury. And the way of the human being, the way of the ordinary person, להורות היתר לעצמו. To find ways to make his way kosher. First he decides what I want to eat. How much I want to spend on food to my stomach that is growing by the minute. How much I want to eat. $300 a day. I will prove to you that it's 100% legal in the eyes of Hashem. You know how important it is? The Torah says, "V'nishmartem lenafshotechem." You have to eat healthy. In that restaurant, it's all organic. They don't touch the food with their hands. Believe me, you will find 50 reasons to make his $1,000 habits kosher. But none of it is the truth. It's all lies. So listen what he writes. He says like this. How do we know, after all, what's really luxury? The answer is like this. כמה היה מוכן לתת לחברו, soon I'll translate, ומה היה טוען שאין צורך שיסתדר. For instance, here is the way to know about ourselves. Each one of us has to judge in his own way. Nobody is watching what you do. You are the master of your life. When I come to you and say, Mr. Moshe, Mr. Yitzchak, I have a person that doesn't have food for Shabbos. So what is he going to tell me? Send him to chickens for Shabbos. No. Chicken for Shabbos has plenty of people to feed. I came to you to help me to feed this family. Okay, what do they need? They need 15 rib steaks. They need first cut, rib, whatever, this expensive meat for chulent. They need 10 bottles of beers, 1 bottle of whiskey, a special Bukharian bread hot from the bakery. Bottom line, $1,000 for Shabbat. So this billionaire is going to look at me and say, do me a favor, next time don't waste my time. Are you serious? That's what they need for Shabbat? Give them 2 pounds of tomatoes, quarter of a chicken, 10 eggs, potatoes case, $30, $40, enough. You sure that's what you want to give them for Shabbat? What, I'm their father? I have to feed them? I'm doing them a favor. I'm giving them food for Shabbos. So how much you want to give? I think I'm calculating how much they can manage in Shabbat. $50. No problem. Give me the $50. Mwah. Thank you very much. Goodbye. When he comes to Shamayim, every penny he wastes more than $50 on Shabbat, he will get punished for it. You say that it's luxury more than 50. They don't need. But you ate for $5,000. Stomach, look at you. Oh, they don't need. This family wants to send their children to yeshiva. It's $1,000 a month tuition. Nah, why do they need this yeshiva? Why? There's other yeshivot. Send them to this yeshiva. I tell you, it's only $150. I'm going to call up the rabbi. Would you send your son to that yeshiva? Of course not. You'll clean the stairs of the buildings if you have to. But for him, it's no problem. Why? Because his son is really not the son of Hashem. Only my son is the son of Hashem. The other son is nothing. It's the cousin. It's not important. Some people, when their kids fail in school, they feel very bad. But when they hear that all the class fail, they feel relief. They should feel much more depression. If one kid of Hashem fell in his studies, and now 50 kids fail, should feel much worse. Hashem is suffering more, 50 times more now. If one kid became not religious, and then you hear that 5 other cousins of him became also not religious, why it brings you relief? You should feel 10 times worse. This is the children of Hashem. Oh, you don't like his father. Who cares about his father? These children is all children of Hashem. All the Jews are pieces from the puzzle. All jealousy. People destroy one each other from jealousy. Oh, my son is not like his son. He begins to pray in the Shmona Esrei, Hashem, make sure his son fell. I want next week that his son Yamaka will become the size of a quarter, like my son. That's what's happening today. Instead of crying for all the other children to become better, He is crying that other children will be as bad as his son, to save him the embarrassment. If in the neighborhood my son is the only bad kid, it brings me a lot of shame. But now it's going to be another 5 bad kids. It makes me look not so bad. But what about Hashem? Who cares about Hashem? It's all about my ego, my name in a community. You understand? So here is what he says. What a person will be willing to give to his friend and would claim that the rest is not necessary. For instance, don't eat meat, eat chicken. You don't eat fish. Open a tuna can, tell your wife to mix it with mayonnaise, put some spicy stuff. For $2 you have fish for Shabbos. No problem. Fine. But what about you? For you it's luxury. I'm not only talking in Shabbos, I'm talking all your lifestyle. You understand? That's called luxury. The extra called luxury. Rav Yecheskel Levinstein was the mashgiach, very holy person. Before he started to eat every day, he made a line on the bread. Up to here I'm allowed to eat. From here on it's not necessary, it's already desire. Up to here it's health. It's a mitzvah. From here on it's a sin. And how he used to eat? He used to take one bite and sit for a few minutes. You know, when you taste from the delicious food, your saliva is like the dog. You know the dog, how he opens his mouth and everything is dripping, ready to murder for the food. So he sits and looks at the food and doesn't touch it for a few minutes. And then take one more bite and wait a few minutes. And take one more bite. Why? To educate myself. It's like exercise in a gym. How you make your muscles strong. It's hardly many years of efforts. Practicing. Same thing here. I practice how to destroy my animal desires. The only way to practice and to destroy the animal desires is with very hard work. The problem in the world is that 99.999% of the people don't even understand that desire for food is the main destruction to the person's life. Nobody even understands that. People think healthy or not healthy, that's it. Today people know healthy, not healthy. Cholesterol, no cholesterol. But nobody thinks, even if you eat the most healthy food, but you eat like a pig with such strong desire, how much it makes you far away from Hashem. Very good, yeah, of course. The more a person is addicted to food, the less he can learn Torah. The more he learns Torah, the less he cares about the taste of the food. Nobody cares. People who are in the Torah, you think they care what they eat? Rav Ben Zion Abba Shaul was eating almost all his life one slice of rye bread. Stale, from 3-4 days ago. It became toast naturally, without a toaster. So because it was so hard and he can break the teeth, he used to put it on black coffee that was 10 hours on the table. He dipped it inside to make it soft, and he pushed it into his stomach while he was learning, not to get up from the learning. And there was his food, and once in a while, he had a red tomato. That's it. That's why he became the most important person in the world. Someone who eats sushi every day never became a Talmid Chacham. I make a deal with you. You find me one person who eats sushi once a week that knows Torah. Real, but for real. You won't find. A person that eats steaks at 6 o'clock in the morning, barbecue, swimming pool, vacation, summer vacation. What came out of their children? Besides baseball. He knows about baseball cards. He knows the value of every player. He knows everything. But Torah he doesn't know. The Gemara says, Hizaharu mibnei anihim shemehem tetze Torah. Give a lot of respect to the poor kids, because the future of the Jewish nation is in their hands. The Torah will come from them, not from the children of the rich people. From them nothing comes out. Nothing. Once in a while you find a smart rich guy that raises children in a very simple way. I had an uncle like this. He didn't know that much about religion, but one thing he did teach his children. He was worth many millions of dollars in a generation in Israel that nobody had even ordinary things, time of poverty. And he raised his children to come to work in his restaurant, to work very hard, to drive a very simple car. A much, very simple lifestyle. Very simple. And each one of them became a hard-working man. And Baruch Hashem, I had them married to make them religious, one after the other. And they're all religious today. Why? Once you already have discipline, it's much easier to make you religious. You already have the mentality of following disciplines. And the Torah is the best disciplines in history. When the Greeks came to Israel, they occupied Israel before they came to Bet HaMikdash and destroyed everything. They came to a Jewish boy. Jewish boy, 10 years old. I wish I knew who was that Jew. But a Jewish boy, doesn't say his name. And they told him, what do you Jews think you are? You make yourself so important and chosen people, special souls. There's no difference between us and you. Do you see a difference? You better than me? I'm not a Jew. You better than me? It made them go crazy that there are a group of people, 1 million people in the whole world that lives in Israel. They think they're superior. It made them crazy. So they came to prove to the Jews that not only that the Jews are not better than them, they are better. That's why they didn't want to kill them physically. Just want to convert them to become Greeks. Like the Christian missionaries today. They do everything they can to grab as many Jewish souls as they can. So they brought cheese. You know the white Israeli cheese, the goat cheese? Not cream cheese. It's similar to cream cheese, but less fat. So they brought two jars with cheese. And they asked the Jewish boy, can you tell which cheese came from a black goat and which one came from a white goat? What's the question? Here, this is cheese and this is cheese. What makes you think you are better than us? Here, you have nose, I have nose. You have eyes, I have eyes. You have fingers, I have fingers. You can be smart, I can be smart. You can talk, I can talk. You believe in God, I also believe in my God, whatever. But what's the difference? So the Jewish boy said, before I answer you, give me a minute. He went and he got 2 eggs. And he came back to him and he said, tell me, do you see these 2 eggs? You say, yes. You see there's any difference between them? The Greeks say, no. The Greek Caesar, no difference. The Jewish boy told him, do you know when you're going to see the difference? When the children will come out. Then you will know which one is black, which one is white. After you see the children, you know who were the parents. We have Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. You understand? You don't have it. That's the end of the argument. From the cheese, you don't see anything. All the cheese from all different kinds, they're all the same. But from the eggs, you see this kind of chick or this kind of chick. Based on that, you know who was the chicken who gave birth. Based on the kid, you know where he comes from. We said in a slichot something very interesting. Something very, very interesting. We say, עשה למען הדרך, עשה למען פארך, עשה למען דתך. Do for your religion, do for your nation, do for your פארך. What פאר means in Hebrew? פאר. Beauty. פאר means fancy beauty. What are we saying to Hashem? עשה למען פארך. We come to Hashem to beg Him to forgive us for our sins in the month of Elul. And what are we saying? We say in Slichot on Monday and Thursday the same thing every week, all year. עשה למען פארך. Forgive us for your beauty. What's the connection? It doesn't look good. It doesn't sound good. What does it mean, forgive us for your beauty? Because, first of all, what beauty are we talking about? What, Hashem has blue eyes? He has blorit, ponytail. What does he have? What does it mean for your beauty? Pe'erach means tefillin. Pe'er means tefillin. Tefillin means beauty of a person. A Jew that has tefillin to his brain and on his heart, that's his beauty. The Gemara in Masechet Brachot says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a tefillin. God has his own tefillin. Tefillin is one of the 3 covenants that Hashem made with the Jewish nation. 3 different covenants that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made with the Jewish nation. What is it? Shabbat, Brit, Tefillin. Shin, Bet, Taf, Shin, Shabbat, Brit. Brit Milah, circumcision, Taf, Tefillin. Why it's the 3 covenants? Because it says, Ot. Ot, it's a sign. Oti beni uvenechem. It's a sign between you and I, that we are connected. It's a marriage. Father and son. Husband and wife. That's an agreement. No. One of them is tefillin. The nation of Israel have tefillin, and God has his own tefillin. The Gemara asks, what does it say on the tefillin of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? What does it say? The answer is, Mi ke'amcha Israel. Who is like your nation Israel? That's what it says on the tefillin of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When you buy tefillin, if you look at the plastic boxes, many of them has it written around it. Mi ke'amcha Israel. Why? This is symbolized the tefillin of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. No. We say to Hashem, Aseh leman pe'erach, do for your tefillin. Save us for the sake of your tefillin. What's the connection? On your tefillin it says, from all the nation. Who is like your nation, Israel? Can you show another nation is like your children? Now once the Jews are sinners, and you don't forgive them, how can you say such a lie? Mi ke'amcha Israel. Hashem, on your tefillin, it's announced, there is no one like my Jewish children. If you are the God of the truth, how can you make half of your nations not pass to the world to come? How can you not forgive them on Yom Kippur? This is where we come to ask for forgiveness. How are you not going to forgive us? How? Which means if you're not going to forgive us, comes the goyim and say to you, Hashem, there is a lie on your tefillin. Your tefillin doesn't have the right statement. It says, who are like the Jews? We are like the Jews. We are better than them. We have less sinners. We don't have as many sinners. You got the point here? This is what we say in the Slichot. In David HaMelech, in Tehillim, Psalms 109. Remember, after this lecture, go and open Tehillim number 109. The entire Tehillim over there is one curse after the other. I'm going to read you the list of the curses who David HaMelech wrote in his book, in his holy book, which is a part of the Tanakh, one of the 24 books of Judaism. Even Chinese people reading Tehillim, you know that? My friend went to a gym, he saw a Chinese woman sitting there and reading Tehillim in English. He told her, what do you have to do with this? She told him, what do you mean? It's a holy book. The Arabs, they admire David HaMelech. Go to the Hamas website, in the religion parts, King David, peace be on him. They know. No, so what does David HaMelech write? Listen good. Mamash scary, but we know the truth. He say, Hashem, put the Satan on this person. Who is this person? I'm going to tell you soon. Make the Satan stand on his right. When you judge him, make sure he comes guilty. His days should be very short. His children should be orphans. His wife should be a widow. Don't ever have mercy on him. His children should run and beg for money, for food, all their life, from one place to another. Don't have mercy on the orphans. Erase their memory from the face of the earth. Make sure that this guy's sins is always in front of you, that you'll never forget his sins. Who does David HaMelech curse? If you ask me now, if I sit in the audience and the speaker asks this question, first thing comes to my mind, Adolf Hitler. Everybody agree? Bin Laden. Everybody put their stamp. Approve. Paro. Throwing children to the Nile, killing them. He deserved these curses. There's a list. There's a lot of wicked people in history. Maybe this is who David HaMelech cursed with so much anger. But then when I read the last verse in this chapter, thank you, I almost fainted. Do you know who he cursed? Each one of us. That's the truth. Now you're going to understand why we suffer so much. What's the last verse in this chapter? Scary. This is what he writes. Al shelo asa chesed. All these curses, send them to a person who is not kind. He's not doing any kindness to anyone. Egoistic, selfish. All he cares about his own stomach, nobody else. I'm good, leave me alone, don't bother me with your problems. Everybody raise money to build a building, a synagogue, mikveh, whatever. Nah, don't bother me. We're collecting money for CDs, maybe we make another 200 Israeli tomorrow, start putting tefillin. Don't waste my time, I'm buying a new jet ski tomorrow. It's each one of us. We are in this category, almost each one of us. I hope I'm wrong, I hope, very much. I'm very scared that I'm in this category. I try not to, it's very hard work, not to be here. Our father, David HaMelech, the fourth wheel of the carriage of Hashem, David HaMelech, is cursing every person that he has no chesed. Nah, not for me chesed. Come help, Tomche Shabbos, let's bring food to the poor people. Maybe they also have something to eat tomorrow for Shabbat. I'm busy, there's a soccer game. There's a good show on television. Stupid show, Lashon Hara for 2 hours. For that he's giving up this mitzvah. Why should I give them food? Give them money, let them buy their own food. The Gemara said there was one rabbi, Shmuel, and his wife. Shmuel and his wife used to take care of the poor people. They used to go to their homes. In the old days, people used to have a hole in their door. Like in Israel, in the Bukharian neighborhood, which was built more than 100 years ago, all the old doors are still having this hole. And that's where they throw the mail. That's how it used to be. So in the old days, they didn't have mail, but if they wanted to send you something, they throw it from the door. So they used to come to that hole and throw money into the person's property for the poor people. One time, a poor person was very curious to know who is giving me all this money every week. I'm dying to know. Curiosity. It's very, very strong desire, curiosity. Sometimes for good, sometimes for bad. So the poor man all day was on alert. He's waiting by the door to see the money is falling. Just when they push the money, they hear the door is opening up. So they started to run. They don't want. Why they care that the poor person won't see that they are the one who gives money? Because it takes away the reward. If a person knows that it's you, tomorrow everyone in town will know that you're a generous Baal Tzedakah. You give donations. They bow down to you. They make you sit in a first row in a shul next to the rabbi. The next thing, they write all kinds of things on the building. Why? Wow, this is a Baal Tzedakah. People would like to do business with you. People would like to marry their children to your children. You benefit a lot from this show-off. Thanks to the pride and the ego, the synagogues exist. If you tell the people from now on, everyone who wants to buy an aliyah will have to do it during the week on the phone with the rabbi, and nobody would know that he's the one who bought it or donate to the shul. The shul will get $1.80 a week. Why? There's no show-off. How does shul survive? Yom Kippur come, 500 people. Tichat ha'echal, 500, 6, 7, 1,000, 2,000. Do it anonymously, $1.80, $3, $5, $10 sold. Can't pay even the electric for the Yom Kippur. One guy went to a synagogue. Said, Rabbi, help me out, I'm collecting money. Said, okay, Rabbi, after the davening, I will announce. So he said to this community, please help, this person is collecting money. So he has a candle for the memory of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and he wants to sell the candle. So one guy say, Chai. This poor person say, Chai? Chai, how much they give if they start with Chai? 26, 52, 70, 90. Then one guy screamed, $1. He thought it's 100. $1. The poor man ran out. It started like this. There's a question in Halakha, if you're allowed to scream a fake number, make a deal with the Gabbai. I'll be the trap, like in the auctions. They do it in the auctions. They don't want to sell the car so cheap, so they have somebody over there who always going to scream something higher than you. But is a part of the system. If you're allowed to scream, let's see, somebody wants to buy this aliyah for 1,000, you say 1,400. Then he say 1,500, you say 2,000. In the end, you brought him up to $7,000. Without you, it would be 1,000. But it's for the sake of the synagogue. Good, no? Kosher cause. The cause justify the needs, no? Non-kosher. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't like liars. Don't save my synagogues with deceiving and lying and cheating. Rabbi, we'll give you $100,000 donation, you give us back 90. You keep 10, and it will be tax-free. Okay, very good for the shul. This shul will collapse eventually. The children that will come out of this synagogue will not be good. Why? Everything not kosher, in the end, in the long run, you see how it collapses. Chotamo shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu emet. The signature of God is the truth. That's what Yaakov Avinu, Yaakov Isha Emet, the man of the truth. Yaakov Isha Emet. Avraham Isha Chesed. In America we say time is money. Everywhere you go, time is money. Right? And I say money, it's time. Change it. From now on, say money, it's time. Money, it's time. Not time, it's money. Why money, it's time? The more you love money, the more time you put into it. It's never enough. If every day you make X amount of money, you work extra 2 hours, you make extra 20%. You work an extra hour, another 5%. There's no end to it. In the end, you sleep in the back of your store. You come once a week, you come home. Your love to the money, your greed, is very strong. So what happened? Money, it's time. To get money takes a lot of time. And then there's no time to learn Torah. There's a price to pay. In America, they say, don't waste my time. Time, it's money. What do you want? Just get to the point. I'm losing money now. But the truth is, you're losing your life. Don't lose your time. You lose your life. Running after it so much and giving everything just for that, that's what happened in the end. Sometimes the Yetzer Hara influence people, the evil inclination, the Satan, is fooling us by making us buy a lot of Torah books. How can it be? I wish we all only buy Torah books. No newspapers, no nonsense, no secular books. Only Torah books. What could be better? What happened? People likes to buy everything who comes out. It's great to learn Torah. It's great. You read, you go into it, you enjoy every minute. But they don't have enough money. So they borrow. They borrow here, they borrow there, they borrow from his friends in yeshiva. After a while, he cannot pay all his money, all his bills. He go bankrupt. He announced to all his friends that he cannot pay them back. And now all the books that he has in his house, it's all stolen. And all the Torah you learned from the stolen books became a curse, not a blessing in your life. Greed. Greed. Not enough, 1 or 2 books. Now I promise you, go to all the houses that have hundreds or some of them thousands of books. Take one by one. First of all, they're all brand new. When you open it, you hear it's already, first time when you open a book, you hear it. And on top of the book, go like this. If you're allergic to dust, don't do it, because you can faint. Tons of dust will come out. You have 1,000 books, 5 or 6 are used, 994 are brand new, smell like the factory. But somebody is crying somewhere. Why? You borrowed money, you don't pay. So today it's an easy way out. Rabbi, it's the goyim, it's credit card. What's the problem? When you owe money on your credit card, if you call them and make an agreement and they're willing to forgive some of the money, fine, they forgive. It doesn't look good, but they forgive. But if you just stop paying it, whatever, I have nothing, they cannot sue me, I don't have anything, what are they going to do? Call me, they call me, I change my number, end of story. You come to Shamayim, Hashem brings 50,000 goyim, Pakistani, Chinese, Arab, Jews, everyone, they're all standing and screaming, you thief! Who are you? You owe us money. I owe you money? Yeah, we own Visa. We own NBNA Visa, we own the company. You didn't pay us $50,000. And you didn't pay, and you didn't pay. All of a sudden, you see all these faces. We lost money every year because of you. You didn't pay, and your friend, and your cousin, and the other one. It's a problem. Stealing, it goes by the opinions of God, not the opinions of the United States authorities. Nobody cares about the decision of the Constitution of United States. Do you think Hashem cares about it? He cares if you're a clean person or you're a thief. If the money that comes to you is from insurance fraud or not. We had a flood in Muncie 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you heard on the news. Thursday, 2.5 weeks ago. Lots of things. Hashem show Muncie, wake up. You're also going down. Rivers of water. The children were sailing in the middle of the streets with boats. Cars were flying, floating, going down the streets all the way down. Serious damage. Trees falling, the sewer, everything is choked. When the insurance people come, they're already used to a person that had a $2,000 damage. He made a $200,000 damage. Oh, my wife gown, this, 5 diamond rings, I had this, I had my computer. He brings all the things that it's already in the garbage, takes it out, throw it, put some water, you see? And then he gets a very nice check. So when this Goya came, I told her, no, that's not good. That was already bad. She said, you sure? I said, yeah, it was bad before the flood. I can write it down, she said. No, I said, it's not true. It was already damaged. This one also is not, I don't care, don't write it. So in the end, it was 5 items. The rug and few items, that's it. This one, I don't know, I didn't check, don't write it. This one, I had another machine, but it's not here to prove to you, forget it. This woman couldn't believe, I promise you, she never saw such a thing. She is used to everywhere she go, write this, that, everything. 5 items. You sure that's all? What about this? She's already giving ideas. She didn't feel comfortable. No, the damage is very small. The rug is the main damage, you can see, and that's it. The rest is little things. Refrigerator, this. But the refrigerator was old. So I don't care. They don't want to pay fine. It was anyway old. How much an old refrigerator was? $100? But they're not thinking like this. But in Shamayim, Hashem is testing you every second. What do you think? You can say whatever you want. Here, you get away with that. When you come to Shamayim, you have very, very bitter surprise. Same thing, all the people who cheat the yeshivot of their children. He has $5 million in his bank account, and he comes to the yeshiva and says, I cannot pay. Every year he goes with his whole family to Israel. $20,000 vacation every year. But in yeshiva, instead of paying $1,000 a kid, he only paid $300. And what happened? 5 years later, the yeshiva collapsed, and the good children that was learning very good also go off the way because of all the crooks that went to Israel on vacations. Now what do you think? The Rosh Yeshiva would give you the discount if you know every year you go to Israel every summer? Or you go to the mountain and rent a bungalow for 2 months and you spend $50,000 there with shish kebabs and a party over there? They only give you the discount believing you that you don't have hardly what to eat. Then people are surprised why the children are not holy, Rabbi. Why I do everything, I send them to the best yeshivot. Why these children are not good? They're not interested in Torah. They're not interested in tefillin. I have to beg them. That's the answer. All the food they eat is stolen, and all the Torah they learn is cheating and deceiving, everything. Why? If a tutor come to you and he say, I want you to teach my son, and you know you have $10 million in your bank account in Switzerland, and this little tutor say, okay, I'm gonna teach him, and you come to him, I'm very sorry, you know, I don't have that much money. Instead of $50 an hour, can I pay you $20 an hour? This tutor, he believes you. Okay, I'll do it for 20. What can I do? You don't have, I feel bad for you. Over here it works. But when you come to Shamayim, what an embarrassment you're going to have. Oh, what an embarrassment. The whole world will see $10 million flashing. While you come, I'm sorry, we need food stamps, help us. Yes. And then if Jews are hated because of that, you're also guilty of that. Yes, because what happened? The Goyim, they look at the Jews as a one person. They don't care, this guy is good, this one is bad. It's the psychology of the people. Jews can look at the Goyim and say, everyone the same. They look at everyone the same. We know that it's not true. Every person is the whole world. But the good people favor what the bad people does. 2 weeks after the Nazis came to Italy, 2 weeks, they came to the city of Rome. There was a very fancy, wealthy Jewish community in Rome. Lots of fancy mansions. The Nazis came to the Jews. The Jews knew that the Nazis already killing other Jews in different places. And they say to them, listen, you want to be safe? Yes. Give us 50 kilo of gold and we won't touch you. We need now money. We're desperate. We have big war. We need money. You generate 50 kilo of gold. How much is 50 kilo of gold today? An ounce of gold is about $1,500 now. 1,500, you have 16 ounces in a pound. Right? So a pound of gold is $24,000. 1 pound of gold, right? If an ounce is $1,500, 1 ounce. You have 16 ounces in a pound. So 16 times 1,500.
Kilo is 2.5 pounds.
Yeah, kilo it's 2.2. So it's about almost $60,000, 1 kilo of gold. Think about it. Two pieces of gold like this, $60,000. Times 50. Huh? $3 million. The Jews raised it in 2 days. Everybody came and gave money, jewelry, whatever. 2 days they had the money. Imagine today if a nation of Goyim would come to murder us, come to Queens, and say, raised, how many kilos the Jews raised? 80 kilo of gold in 2 days. 80 kilo. 30 they put in case they change their mind and they'll be greedy to be on the safe side. 80 kilo, which is about more than $5 million they raised in 2 days. For many people, everybody volunteered to give. Today, everyone would hide, disconnect his cell phone. Nobody would come. There would be other people who give. But then, 60 years ago, people ran to give money. Of course, it didn't help them. 2 weeks later, they killed everyone. They started to kill everyone. But everyone brought everything to participate in the trouble. They were in a much better level than us. And all of them were butchered with no mercy. We have to know what's going to be with us. We are worse than them. We wouldn't run and bring our wife's jewelry. Moshe, don't touch my diamond ring. You crazy? Oh, we're going to all get killed. No, it's holy for me. Don't touch my bracelets for my grandmother. So let's give something. All of us will get killed. They hope that it's going to save their life. Everybody ran to give. Everybody. They're standing online by the synagogues, collecting gold. In the end, it didn't help them. It helped them. When they came to Olam Haba, Kadosh Baruch Hu said to them, very nice, that you are not selfish. This is what David HaMelech was talking about. I started to tell you, jealousy, it's cancer inside the person's soul. Spiritual cancer, 100% that killing us and destroying us from minute to minute. The Torah says, rekev atzamot kin'ah. Rekev means rikavon. Rakuv means in Hebrew rotten. Food is rotten. It's called rakuv. Rekev means a mixture of rotten things. What makes the body of the person rotten in his grave after he dies? Only one sin, jealousy. If he didn't have that, the worms don't touch him. The snake don't eat him. He stays complete. Many holy rabbis were taken out of the graves in Morocco, Yemen, Russia. They took them out of the grave, sometimes 10 years later, sometimes 50 years later. 100% complete. Not one hole, not one bite from a snake or a worm. On the other hand, some people, when they transfer them from Europe to Israel, which is one-day process, they put them in a sealed box, sealed, Chevrat Kadisha, and they send them from Germany to Israel. One reform rich guy from Germany, when the Chevrat Kadisha opened the box, they saw a 4-foot huge snake which already ate half of his face. They called up Chevrat Kadisha in Germany. Are you out of your mind? You're sending a box with a Jewish body inside and you don't check that there is nothing inside? Snake ate half of the face is eaten. Only blood, nothing. The Jews in Germany were swearing. What are you talking about? What snake we have in our building? Where did the snake arrive from? We never put any snake in a box. Mystery, how the snake arrived to the box. They came to bury one person in Bnei Brak. There was a huge snake waiting in a grave. It was in the middle of the night. So they decided to bring the Arab worker to dig another grave. They're not going to throw a Jewish person that just died into the grave knowing the snake's going to start eating him up. So they decided to dig another grave. So the Arab is digging and digging. After 2 hours, there is a new hole. They come to bury him. Up, again snake. They ran to the house of the Chazon Ish. There was no telephones in those days. It was more than 50 for something years ago. Most people didn't have phones. Rabbi, what should we do? We cannot dig another grave now. It's 2 hours to dig a hole like this. Middle of the night. The Chazon Ish say, what's the question? Bury him with the snake. That's his Olam Haba. That's what Hashem prepares for him. That's called jealousy, kin'ah. Why your brother bought his wife a car and I don't have a car? Why she always dressed nice in the weddings and you don't buy me anything? Why this and why that and Lashon Hara and hate and this and that? That's what's happening. Some places, innocent people from the community wants to arrange a lecture to some kind of speaker. They'll never let. They'll never let. Why they never let? If it's a very boring speaker, he's welcome to come. But if he's a good charismatic speaker, the rabbi of that place will kill himself if you come. He'll never let you come. Why? Everybody's going to start making comparison. Oh, with this much better speaker, what do we need him for? Let's get rid of him and bring him and offer him more money, like in the business world. But the problem is, yeah, he has a reason to be afraid. But what about Hashem? Don't you understand that all your money comes from Hashem? If you deserve to be the rabbi of the place, Hashem will make you the rabbi no matter who comes to speak there. And if you don't deserve, nobody will come. They kick you out from the window eventually. It's not going to help you. It's all about you and Hashem. You have Hashem in your heart every second. You trust only Him. I don't care. This is the way you have to think. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I don't care. Nobody. Nobody. Not my cousin, not my uncle, not my brother. Nobody. Only what Hashem is thinking about me. Is He happy with me or not? Am I clean with Him? The rest doesn't matter. They can write in a newspaper. They can put flyers on the street against you. They can spit at you. You know the Ramchal? Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, 100 books of a legend. The biggest Kabbalist in the last 500 years. They were throwing the bathroom of the people in his face. Beating him up. He had to hide. He couldn't teach, like a thief. After his death, he became a legend. Rambam, they all, every one of them, if you look at their life story, you can't believe how much these people suffer. Nobody gave them so much respect like you think. The Gaon Vilna, the Hasidim sent him to jail. They couldn't tolerate what he said about them. They told the authorities he was in jail, the Gaon Vilna. The things that these rabbis went through, but they care only one thing, Hashem. Just what Hashem thinks about me. The rest is nothing. Just before time ran out, 5 last minutes for tonight, I want to tell you something about Moshe and Aaron. Moshe and Aaron. You know that Aaron was the first Kohen. He is the father of all the Kohanim. Moshe was supposed to be the Kohen, the brothers. But Moshe became Levi, because he was from Shevet Levi. Aaron is also from Shevet Levi. But Aaron received the title of the Keuna. Aaron had the first Choshen, the first Urim Vetumim. You know what Urim Vetumim means? They used to have a special board with a necklace hanging on the chest of the Kohen Gadol, of the high priest, the Kohen Gadol, in Bet HaMikdash. And in the stone, on the board, he has 10 precious stones, very expensive, big stones. In our time, could be millions of dollars each stone. 12 very expensive stones. Each stone for each tribe. 12 tribes, 12 stones. Now, when they ask the king or the Kohen a question in Torah that he didn't know the answer, so the king comes in front of the Kohen and he asks Hashem the question. Look at the miracle in front of all the people. Everybody see how you speak to God live. How you speak to Him. The stones are lighting up. For instance, you ask a question, should we go or not? So the answer should be, Ya'aleh, you should go. So the Yud is lighting up, then the Ain, then the Lamed, then the Hey. Where do you have all these letters? Under every stone, you have the name of the tribe, Binyamin. Right? Reuven, Shimon, all the names. If you take the 12 names of the 12 Shvatim, you only have 18 letters. You don't have the 22 Hebrew alphabet. You only have 18. Where the other one comes from? On top of the 12 stones, you had the name Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. So, 3 extra letters from Yitzchak, Tzadik, Chet, and Kuf comes from the word Yitzchak. 18 letters come from the 12 Shvatim. 3 more letters from the word Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. From the Yitzchak, you have the Tzadik, Chet, and Kuf. So it's 21 letters. Which letter is missing? The Tet. Where the Tet is, on the Choshen of the Kohen, underneath it says, Shivtei Yeshurun. Shivtei have Tet. The word Shivtei have Tet in it. Here comes the Tet. 22 letters. Why on the heart, on the chest of the Kohen, you have this Choshen, the Urim Vetumim? What's the connection to write on top of all the names of the Shvatim, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? The answer is, these are the children of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Without them, you don't have anything. If you forgot your foundation, where you came from, you don't have a future. Shivtei Yeshurun means descent tribes, straight tribes. Come from Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Why Aaron was the first person in history that Hashem gave him the gift of having such a holy thing on his chest, that you're speaking directly to God from his heart? Why him and nobody else? Why? Because when Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, I want you to go take my nation out of Egypt, Moshe said to Hashem, I'm only 80 years old. My brother, my older brother Aaron is 83. He's a very holy person. He deserves to go. Shlach na beyat tishlach. Send in the one you used until now. Aaron, he made some of the plagues. He's kosher. He will get offended. Hashem say, I know your brother's heart. It's pure, clean. There's not even 1 gram of jealousy in it. וראה אותך ושמח בליבו. When he see that you are the one who goes to speak to Paro to take my nation out of Egypt, he will be not only not jealous or upset, he will be so happy. I tell you, don't worry, he won't get offended. Let you go. Aaron had such a clean heart, he didn't know what jealousy is. Thanks to that, he got the Choshen to be on his heart. We have in Tehillim, we have a pasuk in Tehillim which is very interesting. It describes the oil who comes from the head of the king into his beard. Kashemen hayored al zakan, zakan Aaron, the beard of Aaron. It says twice over there the beard, one for Aaron, one for Moshe. It says twice zakan. Kashemen hayored al zakan. Zakan Aaron. I know. You could say, the shemen hayored al zakan Aaron. The oil that comes down to the beard of Aaron. The shemen, the oil that comes down to the beard, period, the beard of Aaron. It's an extra word. We never have extra words. Every word is necessary. Chazal say, 1 zakan for Moshe, 1 zakan for Aaron. Everything they did, 1 heart united. 1 heart united. And this is, if you remember, a few months ago when I was here, I told you a story, but today I see a lot of different faces. It's worth to finish with this story. That one rich guy bought 4 expensive horses. Very expensive. Saudi Arabia, England, the best horses. He get a nice gold carriage, and he rides the 4 horses everywhere he go, like a fancy gvir. One time there was a huge storm and a big swamp in the whole area. All the carriages got stuck in the mud. He took his whip and was beating up the horses. He hit the first horse, all the other three are jumping, going crazy. He hit the second horse, nobody is moving. The third, the fourth, he goes in circle, one after the other, they're not moving. After a few minutes, a poor guy with two very skinny, ugly horses arrived. He come to this mud, he got stuck for a second, he took out his whip, he hit the first horse, both of them started to run so fast, they came out of the mud. Two very cheap horses, $100 each. And he has such horses, millions he paid for them, the best in the world. He went crazy. The next day he comes, he asks the rabbi, what's going on here? I pay so much, I got the best horses, they don't move. This poor guy, oh, 1, 2, 3, finished. This story, Rav Chaim Mivolozhin told Napoleon when he went to the war against Russia. He came to Rav Chaim Mivolozhin, which was the student of the Gaon Mivilna 220, 30, 50 years ago, something like that. And he told him, tell me, who's going to win, the French or the Russian? So he told Napoleon, the Russian will rip you apart and leave nothing out of you, in his face. He said, how dare you saying this to me, Rabbi? I came to your opinion. He said to him this story. What was the secret behind this story? And this is what he told him. You know why the horses, the fancy horses, didn't move? Each one of them grew in a different place and they all hate each other. He's Bukharian, he's Kafkazi, he's Persian, he's Ashkenazi. 4 different, from different kinds of places. When they hit the first one, the other 3 were very happy. Yes! Finally, he got what he deserved. Then when he hit the second one, the other one. So every foolish horse, when they hit the other 3, instead of running, he doesn't want to run. Because he knows they're going to get maybe more. He's happy. Oh, my neighbor got what he deserved. Ishtabach Shemo. You're always listening to me, Hashem. Finally got, he's going to jail. Ishtabach Shemo. But the other poor one, he bought these 2 horses from the garbage. He raised them. He fed them all his life. They ate together. They drink from the same place. They like each other. When he hit the first one, the other one felt such pain in his heart. So he also started to run. Both of them got him out. All you need is 2 horses to come out. He had 4, but they're not united. The rabbi told Napoleon, all your soldiers are strangers. Some from France, from England, from here, from different countries that you occupy. You hire them and you pay them money. They don't care about you. They want to get their money and come home when the war is over. You think they care who wins? But the Russians, they all drink vodka from the same place. They'll kill for their land. They're ready for you. They're all united. That's their place. They're all Russian. They all help one another because they don't want you to take their land. But you, your soldiers, don't care. This is what I have to say to each one of us. If you think that you are a better Jew than him because you came from this part of Russia, or he came from a different part, or you came from here and he came from there, or you are this and you are that, that's not going to work. Rabbi, we don't mix with our people. We keep everything in our community. That's why 40-50% of your children are older than 40 and they're not married. Now when you come to Hashem, you're going to have to pay for each one of them. The one who invented that stupidity, we only get married with our own people, Rabbi. This is not our tradition. I cannot let my daughter marry him. He doesn't come from where I came. They are primitive. We are like this. They're not in our level. You know how many times I heard that? Thousands of times. The children are being destroyed. The Jewish nation is being destroyed. More divorces, more single people, more bankruptcies, more cancer by the minute, and nobody wakes up. As long as we can go to upstate New York for the summer, Rabbi, I don't care about anything else. Let me sit there with the flies, the mosquitoes. Very good. You understand? What about Hashem? You know what's the difference between us to Rav Moshe Feinstein? He also went upstate. From the minute he arrived there, he was sitting by the backyard, learning non-stop. We go there, pool, lake, barbecue. Where are we going to get kosher meat? Make sure we bring a lot of eyes. That's it. That's the difference between someone who connects to Hashem and someone connects to his stomach. All day, more and more. Oh, yeah, I don't eat anything and I gain weight. Okay, we're done. I say 5 minutes. We got to keep it. Thank you very much, Yaniv, Chazak. Thank you for coming. Every Monday and Wednesday I give routine lectures in Queens. Every Monday in Fresh Meadows, 172nd Street and 73rd Avenue, in a corner in a big shul. Every Wednesday, it's on 77th Avenue and Main Street, also in a shul. You have information on my front page of my website. I added 25 lectures to my website in the last month. In case you didn't know, divineinformation.com. Thank you very much.